Hello, how are you? Welcome to the Finding Proof live show. I'm coming to you today from somewhere rather different to my normal quiet environment. I'm actually at the recording studios of the ABC in Hobart. This is the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, Hobart office. This morning I've been interviewed for television talking about domestic violence, and I've also been interviewed for radio talking about Are You OK Day and how to check in with our mates. So on the theme of Are You OK Day, I wanted to talk today about some of the emotions behind what I've been experiencing recently as a business owner and sharing with you my tips for checking in on yourself, checking in on your mates, and making sure that you are okay as you navigate the choppy waters of running your business, being an entrepreneur, or branching out in your own exciting future career direction. So welcome, someone's just joined me live. So the key thing I wanted to share with you this morning, and this is going to be fairly emotional topic to discuss with you, and these are the emotions that come with relationships that we have in our working environments, the relationships with our co-workers, the relationships with our bosses, and of course the relationships as bosses with those who work as part of our team. So sharing with you this morning some of the very emotional experiences I've had over the past couple of weeks in particular as things have escalated in my practice. And we're reaching the peak of the hill at the moment with what's going on in my practice. So if you've not been aware of the situation so far, a number of my team members have moved on or in the process of moving on to join a brand new practice or go in other directions of their own choosing. All of a sudden, fairly, what's the word I'm looking for? Almost all at once. So this is something I have dealt with before, and I'm laughing because I'm feeling a bit awkward because there's somebody nearby, but he's gone now. And I'm laughing because let's be honest, this is actually a really emotional topic for me. So to fill you in, my practice has been through the mill a number of times. We've had some very difficult times in the past, which I might talk about more another time. But I was looking at some photos the other day about, photos from my team. We have a Facebook group for my team members, and in that group we share resources, we share photos of social activities, and we support each other in varying ways. And the other day I was looking at a photo which, to be very honest with you, brought tears to my eyes. And it was it was a photo of a social gathering that took place in my absence. I was tidying up the loose ends of a very messy workplace staffing crisis in another location. So I was away from my team while I dealt with that issue, and my team got together, had some Friday night drinks, and they took a photo as a group and they sent it to me, and in that photo they were holding a piece of paper, and that piece of paper said, "We support you." It brought tears to my eyes the first time I saw it, and to be very honest, it brings tears to my eyes every time I look at it now. It is one of those rare things as a business owner when you receive spontaneous displays of intense support as a crisis unfolds. So looking at that photograph, looking at those faces, looking at that message, "We support you," such powerful emotions come to mind when I think back to that time. It was a very traumatic and difficult time for me and my family. My husband was going through cancer at the time. There's so many layers to that story, which is why I'll save it for another day. The sadness that comes now when I look at that photograph is that most of the faces in that photograph no longer work with me or are on the way out of my team. And that makes me very sad. There are people in that photograph who have been fundamental players in the story of my business and have shared some very difficult times with me. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm very, very excited for their futures. Everybody's got to grow and leap into their next exciting phase of their career. And what else am I all about in this program here? Finding proof, finding the evidence you need to take the next courageous leap in your career or your life. But when I think about the relationships and I think about the feelings that I hold for each member of my team, and I think about the reality of being a business owner and watching people come and go. I once joked, and it's not really a joke, but I once joked that being a business owner sometimes is like being immortal, because you're always the last man standing. People come in and then they go. Just like that's the story of the vampires, you know, who they have friends in the mortal world who eventually grow old and die, and the vampire never ages. Now, am I calling myself a bloodsucker? I don't think so. But that situation of being excited when people join your team. We've got new team members coming on board. In fact, some new team members joined this week, a brand new office manager, which I'm so excited about Christina being part of my new team moving forward. And we've got some other people coming on board very soon, which I'm equally excited to have on board. But there's still a sadness when people say goodbye. And I think in our working lives, we don't deal well with those changing relationships. We don't deal well with the endings. And I know, Kath, you're watching, and this is something that Kath often talks about, is endings. Whether it's ending a job, ending a relationship, ending a process, whatever that might be, ending the therapeutic process. And when I think about the endings of some of the working relationships with my team, it has made me intensely sad over the last few weeks. I'm being really honest with you here. There are people who are no longer part of my inner circle who were intensely close with everything that went on in my business and in my personal life. And now they're gone. That's a sad thing for me to see. It's a sad thing for me to feel. And many times business owners talk to me about the sense of isolation that they feel being at the top of their business, being at the top of their tree, whatever that tree might be. That sense of being alone. At the end of the day, no matter what happens, you're the one that's responsible. You're the one whose financial survival is on the line. You're the one who's left holding the baby if everything goes wrong. But emotionally, you're also the last man standing. Others will come and go. And as a business owner, we are regularly going through that emotional cycle. I mean, this week, having that mixed emotion of excitement for people joining my team and utter sadness at the way things are ending with people who are leaving my team. So some of my team members who are moving on, some of them have been with me for years and years. Some of them have been with me since they were students. Some of them have been with me through their own life crises. It is time for them to move on. I understand and celebrate that for them. I want you, and I'm assuming you, are all in your own way, business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders in some way, leading a team. Honour the emotions that you feel when people choose to leave. It's okay to be excited for them while also feeling sad for yourself. I feel intense sadness, but I am trying to balance that with the excitement I feel for their new opportunities. I had a look at another photograph, a more recent photograph. So the first photograph I mentioned was 2 years ago. The more recent photograph was about 12 months ago. And in that photograph, there were 18 members of my team. Now, 12 of those team members have either left or are in the process of leaving. That's 12 important people in my life over the last 12 months that I've had to say goodbye to. And there are very few areas in life where you have that frequency of sadness. It is sad when people want to leave you. It is sad when they no longer want to be part of what you're building. We've got lots of people joining us. We've got exciting plans for the future. I'm very excited for where my practice is heading. We've always had people come and go. With the arrival of a new practice in the Hobart region, that's an exciting thing for the community, and I fully support the existence and have all my wishes for their success, because the community needs their work. The sad part for me is it means that people who are, individually, each of these people are ready to move on in their careers. They've been with me for a long time. They've learnt lots and they've contributed lots, but the time has come for them to move on. With a new player on the horizon, it means there's a larger number of them moving on at the same time. Huge impact on me and my remaining team members. We have to learn how to sit with those feelings. We have to learn how to tolerate those feelings. And that's not always easy. In fact, sometimes it really, really sucks. Water. So, I think my key message today on Are You OK Day, when we're finding proof, when we're finding the proof we need to step up our game, we're finding the proof we need to show how courageous we are, on this day, we need to honour all those business owners who don't make it. There's a terrible suicide rate among business owners. And this is partly because we don't honour the emotions involved in the relationships, in the financial stresses, in the fears for the future, straddled with all the ups and downs of the excitement for the future and the happiness when team members join. I think we need to honour the feelings that we have. I think when people leave our team, sometimes I think they forget that bosses have feelings. I think sometimes it's easier to believe that it doesn't touch the sides for a boss to lose people in their team. But the reality is it really does. It hurts. And I think all of us have had experience of this. Certainly if you're leading a team of any sort, when you leave a job, have you honoured the integrity of the relationship that you're leaving behind? Or are you trying to somehow make yourself feel better by making your boss wrong? Did you give your boss the opportunity to help you in that transition? Or is it easier to just shut the door emotionally and stick up a metaphorical middle finger and march off into the horizon? I think business is all about relationships. I've said this before. And that's the joy and the hard part. Because the relationships that we have can be so fulfilling when we're all on the same journey, when we're all on the same mission. But equally, when we leave a job, those relationships, untangling all those threads, can be very, very painful indeed. So this week on my Finding Proof podcast, I'm actually going to be talking about the other side of this scenario, talking about what it's like to leave a job and to have the intense feelings that come when you are no longer part of a team. But today's Finding Proof live show is all about what it's like to be the ones left behind. My team at the moment is going through some incredible upheavals. We're in the process of saying goodbye to people we genuinely care about. We're in the process of not knowing what's going to happen next when that person has left a gap in our team, both in our hearts and in the workload. We don't know what's going to happen next. We're excited for the new people to come in, but they're not replacements in that emotional sense. They are new relationships that we will work on building and developing and nurturing. I think that when we convince ourselves that there are no emotions involved at work, we do ourselves and each other a great disservice. When we label what each other is doing and use that instead of honouring those real emotions, we do ourselves and each other a great disservice. When we are more honest, when we are more open about how we feel, when we feel that we can talk to each other, when we feel that we can communicate what's wrong with our working environment, or what's wrong with our leadership, what's wrong with the direction the business is taking. Some of my team members haven't really liked my social media work, and I understand that. My business is like a bus. Every now and then someone wants to hop off the bus, and others will climb aboard and come along for our journey. My mission is always about getting information out for you, to help you climb to the next level of success, for you to find resources to help you with your mental health, to help you with your journey as a parent. I think I can't be all things to all people, and I really get that, and I embrace that. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, I know that. So when my team members leave, I understand and honour that they've been with me for a really long time, that it is hard for them. It's hard for them to say goodbye, because I know they like me. I know they've worked with me for a long time for a reason. I know they've liked being part of my team. But I also know that there is something that sometimes, again, getting back to this sense of isolation, the reality is that some of their relationships with each other are going to be much stronger than their relationship with me. And some of their senses of loyalty is going to be much stronger with each other than it might be with me. My team members don't owe me anything. I wish them all well. The ones who are departing, I do wish them the very best. I'm excited that they are all embarking on something new. And I'll miss them. I really will. So, let's not keep ourselves isolated as leaders. Let's not shut the wall off to the emotions behind what it is to be that person, that last man standing in the emotional tumult of a business's journey. Business is all about ups and downs. It's all about relationships. It's all about beginnings and endings. And like the immortals, we're the last one. We're always there while the others come and go. We see the seasons change. We see so much happen over the course of our businesses' lives. And sometimes it's hard to watch. So, today, I'm asking, are you okay? And if you're not okay, make sure you're not staying isolated. Make sure you're reaching out to somebody who can support you. Because I will tell you, I am eternally grateful for the support I've had over the last while as I'm travelling this difficult journey with my business. Thank you for joining me today. For those of you who've been with me live, thank you very, very much. I think that this is probably a message I'll come back to time and again. In the meantime, don't forget to check out the podcast. Later on this week, I'll share a link once it's published, available on all the sexy podcast platforms, Finding Proof, because I'll be looking at this situation through a different lens. So what it's been like for me over the years leaving a workplace, and how that's felt to be grieving at the other side, on the other side of the fence. Thanks for joining me today. Talk to you again next week. Bye for now.